Today, I'll tell you how do I build dashboard for executives. There are at least five reasons what I believe is super important for any analyst to focus on and build deliver that you're going to have they're going to build for your executives. First of all on my list is understanding your executives. Let me make it clear. Executives are very busy. They usually don't have a lot of time because they have ton of items to take care of. From this perspective, you can understand how important is to value their time. So meaning what they like, what they don't like, what they want to report on, how you can make their life a little easier by reporting the right numbers. So you really have to understand what an executive goes through. Now, if you understand that, then you obviously understand their demand, what they want, and how they want to see things on the dashboard. So, fact number one, understand your audience and understand what they would really love to report on. Now, second part is understanding the report and dashboard itself. So, let me tell you, report is not a dashboard. A report could contain many different metrics across many different areas. For example, if you're building a report on operations, then you're covering the productivity, you're covering the growth, you're covering the areas through the drill down and many other aspects to give a complete picture to operation, as opposed to a an executive really don't like to see that much of details. They are mostly outcome driven or outcome oriented personnel who is trying to solve a problem and lead the growth. So make sure you do not have a dashboard that distracts your user. The third point on my list is the KPI selection. Make sure you're not adding more than 5 to 7 KPIs, because having multiple KPIs may distract your audience or executive getting the optimal value from their dashboard, because they have a lot of different scenarios going on, so they really want to focus what they really have to know. Now, how do you design the KPI? If you understand what your audience or your in this case your executive likes to see, likes to report on, how they would like to have it, and how was the cadence, if you understand all small details, then you will be able to tell what kind of metrics your executive would like to have. And you need to maintain a hierarchy. For example, if you are in oversight area, then or oversight environment, then you'd like to show the productivity, you'd like to show the compliance, and that should be your first KPI. And you should place them always on the top, because that's what the driving forces are. The executive are super heavy to understand if they are in compliance. So very important to design your KPIs where executive can follow your chain of thoughts, and each KPI should be tied to one business objective. Fourth on the list is working on the KPIs we briefly touched on the previous point. However, each KPI, when you're designing, make sure you have the consistent color across the dashboard. Because if you have the color disparity, that might distract your executive, and that is one of the biggest reasons why dashboard may fail. The other thing you need to focus on the conditional formatting. If a number goes below the threshold, color it red. If it goes above the target, then make it green. This gives a clarity. You in the back in the mind, you don't really have to know what 80% means or 90% means or 0% means. Color creates a division, and executive would like it because it is helpful. They don't have to think twice. They already know what it means. Finally, business context is very important to understand. If you do not understand business context, you do not know what the executive would look like or they would like in terms of reporting number wise. If you know what the context is, you obviously know the benchmark, you obviously know the target, you obviously know if you're behind or not. So make sure you understand all those business contexts really well and present it in your dashboard. For example, you are creating a credit risk modeling. You truly have to understand the benchmark. What is the acceptable threshold? Is it 95% or 96%? If some cases are below that, then you have to show that. If it is an oversight, then you need to show what 95% means. Is it below average or it is not acceptable? Because in compliance, in ideal situation, you always want to have 100%. If you do not get 100%, then what is your acceptable threshold? Make sure you understand all those contexts and add them to your dashboard. I guarantee your executive would love your product. If you'd like to see such contents more, uh, stick to my channel. I'll bring more for you.